Hello and welcome to activity number 1. For this activity we're going to be exploring floating and sinking. Now Georgia, what does floating mean?
It means it stays on top of the water.
That's right, it means something stays on top of the water. It means it won't go under the water, it won't sink, will it? So for the first activity you need to all go and gather some toys or objects from around the house and put them together ready for our experiment. But please make sure you've checked with your grown-up because you will have to get these objects wet, okay? So we'll see you in a minute with all of your objects. Bye!
Bye!
Okay, so we're back and Georgia and Gracie have found themselves some objects to test in our floating and sinking experiment. So what have you got there, Georgia?
A potato.
A potato. Ooh, what do you think about that? Will it float or sink?
I think it will float.
She thinks it will float.
Actually,
Actually, who knows? We're not sure. And then you've got some little squishy figures there. What about those? Do you think they'll float or sink?
I know they'll sink.
Okay, so we're going to go through these little objects and we're going to predict, we're going to go through the bucket and predict which things will float and which things will sink. And then once we've done that, we're going to test it out. We've got our sink in the kitchen here that's full of water. You could use a bucket. Gracie's got a bucket just over there. You might want to do this outside. You could do it in the paddling pool, or perhaps you could do it in the bath, you know, wherever you want to, where it's safe for the children to use water. So we're going to talk about what we're doing, we're going to test it out, and then if things work out the way Georgia thinks they're going to work out, then we can talk about why that is, and perhaps if we get any surprises we can have a little think about why that might be. So we'll see you in a minute to see what we find out. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we've just had lots of fun floating and sinking those different objects, and Georgia sorted them into 2 piles here. The things that floated were over here and the things that sank are here. Now, was there anything you were surprised about?
Yep.
What were you surprised about?
I thought that it would sink, but it floated.
That's right, should we show the camera? So this little figure here that Georgia was experimenting with, she thought that it would sink and it actually floated. And what else was there that we thought would sink but it floated? What else was there? That's right, there was the tin of tuna, and we thought because that's so heavy and it's made of metal, we expected that to sink, but actually it floated. So we've just had a little talk about that, haven't we? And can you tell everybody, why do you think some things might have floated? Why do you think the tuna floated? What might be inside it?
Air.
Some air. We think there might be air inside. A little bit like when you have a big heavy boat. The big heavy boat doesn't sink because it's got air inside it. And also it's shaped in a certain way to help it to float too, to keep it buoyant. So we've had lots of fun with floating and sinking. We hope you have too. And we'll see you in a little while ready for activity number 2. See you in a minute. Bye.
Bye.